What's happening, boys and girls? How the devil are we? Shanksy here, and welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. This time, we are going to delve into my favourite poisoner, and arguably the best poisoner in the game, Mr. OB, the Occult Brawler. Stick around. What's going on, boys and girls? How the devil are we? Right, as we've already said, we are going to be looking in to Occult Brawler today. Everything you need to know about him. What skills, ideally, if you could focus on booking up, should you? Is he worth booking up? OB is one of them characters, in all fairness, you can actually get away with no books at all. Now, arguably, Mr. Occult Brawler is the best poisoner in the game, especially without a counter-attacking setup. But first, let's have a little look at his skills, shall we? So, having a look at Occult Brawler's kit, he has a passive that at the start of each turn, he places a 2.5% poison on himself. That's the small version of a poison. As you can see, it's popped up there. And also at that same time, has a 70% chance to place a random 5% poison debuff, on a random enemy. So, on the clan boss, this is absolutely great because there is literally only one enemy in front of you. Places like Fire Knight as well, only one, he can sneak poisons onto the main boss. It's absolutely beautiful. So, that is his A1, guys. Real simple animation, based off attack, and 50% chance to poison. Now, his A2, Curse Eater, gets a little bit different. It's got a very different animation as well. It attacks one enemy. If the champion is under one or more debuffs, this attack ignores 30% of the enemy defense. He's always going to be under one or more debuffs. If this champion is under two or more debuffs, enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. Great for places like Ice Golem, but very, very unreliable to pull it off. If this champion is under 3 or more debuffs, this attack is always critical. And if this champion is under 4 or more debuffs, this champion heals by 30% of the damage inflicted. If this champion is under 5 or more debuffs, it grants an extra turn. And regardless of how many debuffs he's under, it removes all debuffs from the champion on this attack. So you know what? It's a pretty cool ability, but it's not the be-all and end-all. You know, it's pretty cool if you're going to manual it and you know you can stack up to 5 debuffs every time. Or you've built a team so you're always going to get those debuffs. It's all well and good. But it's an okay skill. It's a pretty cool skill to have, but I wouldn't put too much stock in it, in all fairness. So right, now that we've had a look at his skills, hopefully you guys can see why he's the best without a counter-attacker. And it really is, guys, all down to this passive. So at the start of each turn, he places that random buff on an enemy. 70% chance to place that random buff on any random enemy. Now, he doesn't trigger that during a counter-attack. So on his counter-attack, he's only going to be using his A1, which is the 50% chance of placing a poison. You are better off with someone like Frozen Banshee in that aspect, where it's 100% chance to place a poison, because that's her A1, where he, every time he takes a turn, is going to be putting poisons out. That's great, but for a counter-attack setup, not really what you need. Hence why Frozen Banshee is a much better poisoner with a counter-attacking setup. But as a pure, by himself, standalone, I'm alright Jack, Mr. Occult Brawler is the one. Right, let's have a little look at his masteries, guys, and see if I would change anything here. So, we've gone standard route into crit rate, crit damage. Now, ideally, I think this was a massive mistake. I shouldn't have gone into Shield Breaker. I should have probably gone into Heart of Glory or Grim Resolve. Personal preference, depending on where you stand with your Occult Brawler. Quite often, my Occult Brawler goes back up to full HP. But he will place that poison on himself first. So, to be honest, Grim Resolve is probably a much better shout. So, going down here into crit rate, crit damage, and then going in to Grim Resolve would make a lot more sense. Then it's going to be fairly standard across the board, because we are literally just going to be going down to War Master. Straight down this line. You can't see because it's behind my big fat head. But it's straight down to War Master, guys. Nothing on this row at all. So we're going in to single out, increase damage to targets with less than 48% HP. Increased damage inflicted by 6% when attacking targets with higher max HP. Obviously, clan boss, all the dungeon bosses, that type of thing. It's going to work out really nicely for. Methodical, increase the damage inflicted by this champion's default skill by 2% each time it's used during a battle. Stacks across up to 10%, which is absolutely huge. You're always going to be hitting that extra 10%. And then, obviously, War Master, because we are going to be using this based on enemy max HP. And the clan boss, I don't know if you noticed, has got a fair amount of HP. On the accuracy side of things, guys, because we're not going to be using him with a counter-attacker, we're going to go for a little bit of speed. There is an argument to be going for Evil Eye as opposed to Circular Magic. That would make a lot more sense, in all fairness. So if I was to rebook this right now, I would go down. In fact, should we do that? Should we do that? I can reset it for free anyway, right? So we're going to go into crit rate, crit damage. Then we're going to go into Grim Resolve. We're going to go straight down. Straight down. There we go. Lovely. Of the Jubblies. Then we're going to go into the support tree, right? And the support tree is, I don't actually want his A2 to come back quicker, because I want the more debuffs on it and things like that. It just makes sense, right? I want those more debuffs because it's going to help him out. I'm going to increase his accuracy everywhere that I can. And then it's going to be a real standard increase accuracy for each enemy alive. Increase turn meter by 10% when a debuff is cast. You don't want that on a counter-attacking champion, because obviously you're gonna fall out of sync. If you've speed tuned up, you're gonna fall out of sync. So, and then we're gonna go straight down to Sniper, which is going to increase the chance to place your buffs by 5%. Absolutely huge. Keep in mind, his A1 is only a 50% chance. His passive is a 70% chance. That extra 5% and half going to help out. So that's going to be his masteries, guys. But what about the gear? So we'll start off by having a quick look at his total stats. Now, as you can see, his base defense is super low. It's redonkulously low. It really is. But he's got quite high HP, and that's going to come into a factor when deciding what gear to put on him. So, as you can see, total stats have gone for about 35k health. I'm only at 2.7 defense. I would like that to be a little bit higher. In fact, I would like that to be a lot higher. But it's very hard to build up that base defense on someone like Occult Brawler because of his incredibly low base, right? We've gone for about 153 speed. Ideally, I would like that to be about 35 quicker, ideally, but I don't have the gear for it right now, right? And one of the big things in this game is you can only work with what you've got. Crit rate 36%. You don't care about crit rate, crit damage. If he crits, lovely. If he don't, whatever. It's his poisons what are going to be knocking out that insane amount of damage. We've somehow got about 84 resistance and 224 accuracy. And accuracy is going to be his main thing. So what you want to be focusing on during this build is definitely accuracy first. Get into that type of magic number of 200, 220, around that mark. If you were using him for PvP, it would be much higher. But for PvE content, about 220 is really, really good, right? So accuracy there at 220. Ideally, I would like him about 30 speed faster. And then we want to keep him alive. We need to keep him alive. We don't care about flat attack. We don't care about crit rate, crit damage. So he's actually not that gear intensive to build, right? So let's start with the jewelry. And this is only if you've got it, right? So if you don't have the jewelry, try and get him up there. But you can make do without him. You're just going to have to rely more heavily in your gear elsewhere. So, banner, without question, accuracy, 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 accuracy. Don't know if I said that enough times, but trust me, accuracy. Speed as a percentage stat would be absolutely beautiful. And then you're looking for defense, flat defense, things like that. As you can see, this is a 4-star banner. We've maxed it out 64 accuracy. I've got a little bit in there in speed, but ideally I'd love a little bit more in speed. And then I would like more defensive stats. Instead of attack, I would love HP. Instead of attack there, I'd love either flat defense or flat HP. I really don't care about this guy's attack. Full stop. Right, then we're going to be moving into his amulet. Now, amulet, you want either defense or, so flat defense or flat HP. Again, HP is going to be easier to stack up, but you don't want him to get one shot and things like that anyway. So defense or HP, it really is personal preference or whatever you've got access to, right? Now, the sub-stats are going to be fairly important. And again, you want to just find that accuracy, guys. Even a little bit, all of these little bits and pieces help out. If you don't have it, obviously you don't have it. You can't imagine something that's already there. But as you can see, I could put on an amulet here with better accuracy, but I would lose so much in terms of defense and HP. It's just not worth it. Right, so then we go for the ring, and again, it's exactly the same point of call, guys. Defense or HP. Ideally, if you're going to try and work on that defense, you're going to want to find your defense down here. If you can't find your defense down here, then it's going to change a little bit up top, right? We're going to start looking for HP percentage as opposed to defense percentage. But again, so this ring's not actually that bad at all. It's got defense with defense percentage, HP percentage, and then we've got attack and attack percentage. And we've got 2 rolls into attack percentage. Don't want it. I don't want it. I want HP. I want defense. I don't care about that attack. But you can only work with what you got. Right, then as far as sets go, I'm guessing if you're looking at this build, you're thinking, right, I need to get him ready for Clan Boss, right? This is probably going to be his #1 top tier place. Everyone uses him Clan Boss. I think he's great in all the dungeons, personally. But Clan Boss, you're going to want him in a lifesteal set, guys. He does deal himself a lot of damage with them 2.5% poisons. He does heal himself every now and again, even on auto with his passive, or sorry, with his A2. But lifesteal is pretty damn important. So ideally, if I was just doing, if I could have the gear, what I would want him in, I would want him in lifesteal, and then ideally probably something like either accuracy if I can't find it down here, or speed. And I think speed might be the way that I go forward if and when I get the gear to really up his game, right? So we've gone for speed boots without a shadow of a doubt. And again, what you're going to be seeing, guys, is on all of these rolls, similar to what we've talked about, you're going to be seeing accuracy, you're going to be seeing defense, and then you're going to be seeing like stuff that I just can't control, right? But accuracy and speed is what I'm looking for on all of these rolls. So, lifesteal boots, 40 speed. He's getting a little bit there, defense. He's getting a little bit of accuracy. He could get a little bit better boots. They're only 5-star as well, so he could get a little bit quicker straight off the bat if we had better gear. Then we move on to the HP. Now, the chest. So, this is where it's going to be how you've got him built, right? If you've not been able to find the defense percentage down here, like the flat defense to boost him up a little bit, there's a very big argument to be made for putting him in a HP percentage chest over a defense percentage chest, because 50% defense is lovely, right? But 50% defense of 826 is fairly lackluster as opposed to, I don't know, 50% HP on 20,000. You know, it's a big, big difference, and you're going to be able to stack that much higher. But you do want him to have a little bit of defense, so if you can, lovely of the jubblies, right? So defense percentage chest would be ideal. Then we're going to move on over to the gauntlets. And again, guys, I've gone for extra defense. And even with, so 60% extra defense here, 50% defense here, we've still not got him up to like 3.5k defense. He's really, really difficult. Really difficult to get up to big numbers, right? Now, with better jewelry, I think I might be able to do it with this build, but it's very, very difficult. Again, substats, accuracy, we've got resistance in here. We've got a little bit of HP. Ideally, I'd like speed in there, but look, beggars can't be choosers, right? I've got to work with what I've got. Shield, again, we're going to be going for defense. It's all you can do. Accuracy is a substat. All these type of things. And it's going to be the same, guys, for the helmet, for the weapon. Ideally, get speed and accuracy where you can. Don't worry about attack percentage, crit rate, crit damage, all that type of stuff. In fact, if you've got really nice rolls on crit rate, crit damage and stuff like that, take it off him and give it to someone that needs them and focus with him on what he needs, right? So, that is his stats. 24k power as things stand. There's a lot of work to go on my one, guys. There's a lot of work to go on my one. But he is my biggest hitter without a shadow of a doubt in Clan Boss. We are, let's have a little look where we're doing on Clan Boss. I don't think I can actually do a key at the moment. In fact, I can do a key. On Nightmare, we're doing 13.62. He's not tuned up for Nightmare. He's not built for Nightmare, really. But he is going to be stacking up the poisons like mad. He's been doing an amazing job for me since I got him in every single aspect. And what we'll do a quick run, guys. We'll do a quick run of this. For the sake of the video, we're going to be using Septimus in the lead. Now, it's worth noting, he doesn't have an aura. So you can put him with a lead. Ideally, Septimus is probably not the best lead, but out of this team that I'm using at the moment, he's the best that I've got. Right, so we're going to load in. We're just going to auto the whole thing. I don't have a setup. I don't have a counter-attacker. Anything like that. If I did want to set it up, I'd probably use Razin first, because it would make the most sense, right? Because Razin could put it in there and then Septimus. But I'm pretty lazy, so I just do it all on auto. And yeah, just look at this debuff bar on the way that he's going to stack up these poisons. He can single-handedly, guys, single-handedly stack up this with pure poisons. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. He's such a good poisoner. And you're going to see at the end of this, regardless of what we score, he is going to be 3, maybe 4 times the damage of anyone else on the team. So on Brutal, where I run him mainly, I think he single-handedly does about 10 million damage, which is pretty nutty, right? He's a really good poisoner. Now, again, this is where he gets a lot of his poisons off at the start of his turn. So if you do have a counter-attacker, he's not the one for you. He will still do a job. And the beautiful thing about Occult Brawler, right? The beautiful thing about Occult Brawler is it don't matter what affinity they are, guys. Is that chance to land the poison at the start of his turn does not care. Does not need to hit. So he doesn't run over and bash them for his passive. No, he just puts it out there. So it doesn't need to hit. You can't get a weak hit on it. So the negative affinity matchups don't suffer him as badly. He's still my top poisoner for Dragons 20 as well. I'm not going to show you the run. The video will be too long. I don't want to bore you. You can just take my word on it. Or if you do want to see the runs in future videos, let me know, guys. If you want to see longer videos of what I can do with these guys with the gear that I've got, just let me know. But at this point in time, he makes it into my Ice Golem team at Ice Golems 20. Don't get me wrong, none of these are fast runs, guys. None of these are super quick runs. There are probably better champions out there. But for me, for what I've got, Ice Golems 20, it helps clear it. Boom, every time. And he's part of a safe farm as well. Dragons, he's part of a safe, never failing farm at Dragons 20. So he can do amazing stuff in dungeons all the way through to the very end game, right? Or maybe the end game for you is speed farming, so maybe he's not going to do a job in the end game, but he's going to get you through that whole mid game. Like if you're stuck on your missions, your arbiter missions, that type of thing, he's going to be the guy that you put in there for safety, putting out them poisons, healing himself back up. Don't care about the affinity. He is your guy. Right, we're going to cut to the end of this and let's see how much damage he's done. So it's coming towards the end of the run, guys, and I won't lie, this is probably my best attack so far on a Nightmare Clan boss. We're up to 15 million. We're definitely falling apart real quickly, though. But 15.6 million. Let's have a little look at Occult Brawler. So Septimus, hugely hard-hitting champion in the game. 2.8 million damage. Razin, 2.2. Coffin Smasher, 2.4. Apothecary was literally there to keep them boys alive and going a little bit faster. Occult Brawler, 8 million damage. 8 million. He done more than half of my whole team by the amount of poisons that he's whacking out, right? Absolutely crazy. 15.63 on Nightmare. I think if I could do that a couple of times, so I'm 3 key in Nightmare pretty much at the moment. Super happy about that. That is absolutely huge. If I can keep it, oh no, yeah, it's 3 key in Nightmare. If we can keep it up at that level, and that was by far my best run that I've had. But we've recently done a bit of a re-gear, so you never know we might be there. But that is Mr. Occult Brawler. I'm not going to show you the rest of the dungeons, guys, but you can get the idea of what he can do in all of them. So, for example, really, really quickly, Ice Golem, he will be attacking the ads, but randomly placing poisons up. That can go on the boss, and if the boss's health drops below his threshold damage via poison, he doesn't do his counter attack. Also, he can every now and again randomly get lucky and trigger Curse Eater at the same time as attacking an ad on low health, and boom, it doesn't do a huge amount of damage, but boom, that ad then can no longer be revived. Absolutely massive, right? Because then the boss is going to do even less damage because he can't bring his boys back up. On the dragon, similar type of thing. He's going to do a bit of a job through waves, nothing major, you know what I mean? He's going to keep himself alive, but when he gets to the dragon, he's weak affinity. Don't matter, because at the start of his turn, he doesn't need to hit the dragon. All of a sudden, them dragons has a lot of 5% poisons on him. All of a sudden, that dragon is dead. Then, Fire Knight, you're not going to use him. You're never going to use him in Fire Knight. You're never going to use him in Spiders either. These two are just not going to work out for him. Minotaurs, most of the people in the game, you can get through Minotaurs, right? And again, with the keeps, is he going to do a job? He's okay. He's all right. He's not setting the world on fire, but he's all right. Like, he'll do a job. I wouldn't rate him highly in the keeps at all because, as I say, there are a lot of characters that you can bring in to the keeps that are going to do specific things for you where he's not that one. So, Clan Boss, what we're going to give him? We're going to give him a 7 out of 5. He's absolutely awesome. Dragons, negative affinity, I don't care. I'm giving him a 5. Minotaurs, I'd give everyone a 5, to be honest. Ice Golem Peak, again, I think a 5. Force Keep, probably a 4. He doesn't do anything massively special. Campaigns, is he going to be your campaign farmer? No, he's not. He'll do a job, though. Right? He'll do a job. He's acceptable. Void Keep, he's all right. He's good. He's good. He's not great. Spiders, he's useless. He's absolutely useless. Arena Offense, he's not a PvP champion. He's not. I ain't a break it here. He's not. Fire Knight's Castle, useless. Spirit Keep, he's acceptable. Magic Keep, he's alright. Faction Wars, I like him in Faction Wars. He does the job, right? So, this is, I think, for me, Occult Brawler, when he's good, he's great. And other than that, he'll still do a job for you. So, when he's good, he's great. And when he's alright, he's just alright. You know, when he's bad, he's alright. When he's good, he's great. Yeah, let's go with that. Right, guys, that is going to be it for me today. I hope you've enjoyed this guide for Occult Brawler. If you have, do me a favour, give it a thumbs up, leave a like, leave a comment, all that type of good stuff. And let me know down in the comments if you would like to see any other champions. Now, the way that I do my guides is it's very simple to go onto anyone's account. So I've got access to a lot of champions through my alliance and stuff like that I can jump on and show you how, like, what pieces you should be putting on them and stuff like that without actually needing to change any pieces. So it's really, really cool. Let me know what champions you want to see a guide on, and let's see what we can do. Guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, be smart, be strong, be safe, and I'll see you on the flip side. You take it easy.